Happy Tuesday. I know we always just say happy Friday, and it just seems like that's the only day everybody want to always say happy with. But happy every day, right? So happy Tuesday. I hope that everyone has been doing great so far as the week kicks off. And I've been feeling in my heart and in my spirit, I know God has been calling me forward, meaning God is calling me to come out of hiding, come out of sitting in the sidelines, come out of just come out of just like the same everyday routine. God is calling me to a greater level in Him, meaning that when God has called you, and if there's a call in your life, whatever it may be, you can try, but you can't run. It's like He's gonna catch you. It's funny because He didn't caught me. I've been running, and sometimes it's like that. Like, I mean, none of us is perfect, and things sometimes can take you off course. So been encouraging me. Like last week and even just the start of this week, I've been thinking about that story in the Bible. A great story in the Bible, actually, the story of Jonah. If you guys never have read the story of Jonah, it really basically talks about how basically Jonah's God wants to use Jonah. Jonah is called to be a prophet or a pastor, a prophet, and God has called him or has he told him he needs him to go and to be able to preach a message to this city, because he wants to be able to save this city. It could be a destruction, whatever it is. God called Jonah to be able to go and preach and to be able to say what thus saith the Lord. But Jonah had other plans. Jonah rebelled against God. Jonah was basically like, no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't look a part of what my life wants to be. I don't want to go minister. I don't want to be a minister. Like that type of thing. So God was still pressed upon his heart. Jonah was fleeing. Everywhere he was fleeing to, it was like he was bringing destruction everywhere he was going because he was in disobedience. So how many of you know that when God is trying to do something in you and through you, it's not for you. What he's doing in you is not for you. It's for others. It's a message God's trying to get across. There's freedom in everything God is trying to get across. There's deliverance. There's salvation. There's a big purpose, a bigger purpose than what you can foresee. We're not God, so we don't know. And so we do know that sometimes it's not an easy thing. It's not a glamorous thing, because you have to come out of yourself when it's anything that's in relation to doing for God and obeying God. You coming out of yourself. Just like when he says, basically, if you want to walk with me, if you want to have a relationship with me, take up your cross. Like, basically, die to yourself, take up your cross. Taking up your cross meaning take upon what I'm saying, my laws and my ways and different things. Take upon that. Then, taking up your cross and walk means I'm letting what I feel, what my life should look like, and what I'm thinking, I am literally putting that aside, and I'm taking upon God's, or what God wants and his purpose of what my life should be. And a lot of times, anytime we know, whether it's Bible and just the different great women and men of God, we know it's a greater sacrifice anytime you are doing anything of God. So Jonah, I guess, was like, no, I'm not feeling that. I don't want to do it. Like, kind of like, leave me alone about it. So he was fleeing. And finally, what really woke him and shook him is when he was in the well, in the belly of the well. And for 3 days. And that's what got his attention. That's when it was like, okay, God, this is really serious. I mean, this is not even about me anymore. Because anything we do in regards to God is not about us. And so in that moment, with him having, he pretty much had no choice. He had nowhere else to turn. He knew that God's hand was so strong on him. And it was almost like, if I don't obey, this is a life or death matter. Like, if I continue to flee for my purpose and for my calling, this is going to cost me my life. So you have to understand, some things cost us. It costs to be able to do the things of God. There is a cost to it. Is it a bad cost? No. There is a lot of good things from obeying God. God talks about it all the time, about when you obey his commands. And then there's also a cost of when you disobey. And anytime we don't listen and anytime we decide to go our own way, that's disobedience. And we know with disobedience, there's a cost to that. So Jonah just basically woke up, repented, and literally did what God woke up. He definitely woke up. He had his moment. He got it right with God, and God was able to use him as a vessel, like God wants to use us. So I'm saying all this to say, I wasn't trying to go too deep, but I'm saying all this to say that anytime when we're surrendering to God and we allow God to now be the head of our life, it's going to come with sometimes things we do not want to do. Sometimes it's going to come with that sometimes. But again, once we realize that it's not about us and it's about God and about him being glorified and about God using you for his purpose, that's what basically being used for his purpose looks like. And I just want to encourage someone to just start to seek God, as I'm doing myself, seeking God on what is he calling you to do in this moment, in this season. He could be calling you to sit still. He could be calling you in isolation just to commune more with him. He can be calling you to go forward, to start teaching, to start, pastoring, to start prophesying, to start praying, to start teaching. It's many things that God is calling us to do. And our assignment is to be able to find out what God is calling us to do in this moment, in this season. Because everything we do, it's a purpose. Does not waste anything. Everything is for a purpose. So just understand, you're still here. We are still here. If we're still breathing, there's purpose for our life. When you're not breathing no more, then it's like your purpose has been fulfilled. But because you're still breathing, there's an assignment, there's a purpose. So begin to walk in your purpose. Okay? I hope everyone will continue to enjoy their wonderful Tuesday.